In this podcast episode, Charles Duhigg, author of The Power of Habit and Smarter, Faster, Better, shares deep insights on habit formation, productivity, communication, and personal growth. The conversation traverses Duhigg's experiences overcoming addiction through habits, strategies for fostering organizational excellence, effective communication techniques, and his personal routines for focused work and meaningful connection. Throughout, he highlights how understanding cues, routines, and rewards can transform behaviors both individually and within organizations. Charles Duhigg explains the core concept from his book, The Power of Habit. Every habit consists of a cue, a routine, and a reward. He illustrates this with a personal story of overcoming alcoholism by not extinguishing the habit, but replacing the drinking routine with eating M&Ms and later switching to non-alcoholic beer. This process rewires neural pathways rather than fighting cravings head-on. The neural basis of habits means they persist over time, as demonstrated by research on rats recalling maze-running habits years later. Habits are driven fundamentally by craving, and successful change involves identifying new routines that satisfy similar cravings, allowing for habit transformation rather than suppression. Duhigg discusses the concept of keystone habits, key routines that ripple into broader life changes, and confirms that he coined the term inspired by the ecological concept of keystone species. He highlights a simple yet powerful keystone habit of putting running shoes next to the bed and sleeping in workout gear, which makes morning runs automatic and effortless. By aligning cues with desired routines, habits can eliminate reliance on willpower. The basal ganglia in the brain facilitates this automation, allowing habits to operate beneath conscious thought and making behaviors easier to sustain long-term. The conversation shifts to organizational habits, especially pertinent in companies growing beyond 30 employees, where processes become critical. Duhigg shares an example of a company-wide system where every day at 3 p.m., the entire staff stops to clean the office for 10 minutes. This practice is more than tidying up. It reinforces group identity and the habit of sweating the small stuff, building cohesion and pride through shared action. The discussion underscores that success doesn't come from willpower, but from intentional systems that become the default behavior both personally and professionally. Addressing the flood of unread messages and digital notifications, Duhigg offers a nuanced perspective on managing impulses to respond immediately. While developing a habit of replying promptly to difficult emails can reduce cognitive load and anxiety, another equally vital habit is learning to ignore or delete non-essential correspondence without guilt. Prioritizing where to spend attention is fundamental, and by deliberately deleting rather than saving items for later, individuals reclaim mental space and autonomy rather than reacting to the endless input stream, a key productivity strategy for modern professionals. Duhigg highlights the power of mental habits or cognitive routines, such as journaling daily with a 5-year diary format that encourages reflecting on recurring challenges or ruts. These small, consistent actions build the mental architecture needed to think deeply, even when stressed or pressed for time. Through cognitive routines, individuals create moments to pause, evaluate patterns, and make more intentional decisions, enhancing self-awareness and personal growth despite persistent struggles or repeated patterns. In discussing his book, Super Communicators, Duhigg explains that effective communication isn't an innate gift, but is based on mastering simple, trainable skills. Among these, asking many questions, especially deep questions about values, motivations, and experiences, helps people open up and fosters trust. He emphasizes the importance of recognizing the type of conversation, practical, emotional, or social, that is occurring and matching the other person's conversational mindset to truly connect. This matching principle prevents misunderstandings and enables empathy, creating shared understanding even in conflict. Duhigg provides a fresh take on vulnerability as the willingness to share parts of oneself that others could judge, paired with mutual withholding of judgment, creating closeness and authenticity. He contrasts this with the common but unhelpful advice to just be yourself, arguing instead that authenticity is choosing which parts of oneself to reveal intentionally. Sharing small vulnerabilities signals honesty and invites reciprocation, which lays the foundation for deeper trust and connection in personal and professional relationships. The discussion features examples of renowned public figures who exemplify super communication skills despite very different styles. Ronald Reagan's use of humor to vulnerably yet cleverly diffuse concerns about his age exemplifies super communication through vulnerability. Bill Clinton's genuine curiosity and charm emerge from his learned ability to connect and listen attentively. Donald Trump's style, though controversial, also leverages active listening and responsiveness to his audience's emotional state, illustrating how super communicators adapt their messaging dynamically to build connection and trust. Duhigg emphasizes that true listening is an active skill involving not just quiet attention, but the process of looping, asking questions, paraphrasing what you've heard thoughtfully in your own words, and confirming understanding. This technique proves that you are truly paying attention, increasing the likelihood that the speaker will reciprocate by listening more deeply to you. Looping is particularly effective in conflict or difficult conversations, building rapport and clearing miscommunication by ensuring both parties feel heard and validated. Turning to productivity, Duhigg describes his approach to daily focus and deep thinking, particularly when writing books or articles. He maintains a strict to-do list, never exceeding 3 items, often with only one priority task for the day. Each evening, he reviews a long memory list, but deliberately selects the highest priority task to focus on. Throughout the day, he periodically pauses to reassess whether his current activity serves the top priority or is a distraction. This disciplined routine helps him concentrate deeply and avoid the fragmented attention that undermines productivity. Among his recent intellectual influences, Duhigg recommends the novel Voidar, a thoughtful exploration of AI from a computer scientist's perspective, highlighting how imagining AI's difference from human cognition can deepen understanding of this burgeoning technology. He also praises David Epstein's forthcoming book Inside the Box, emphasizing how artificial constraints can foster creativity and innovation, counterintuitive insights in an era of abundance. These readings inspire ways to think differently about limits and problem-solving in creative work. Duhigg reflects on his own financial success, coming in his late 30s after years as a reporter. Despite accomplishments including a Pulitzer Prize and bestseller status, he acknowledges the lingering scarcity mindset originating from his upbringing. This mindset coexists with an understanding that money, while not solving all problems, alleviates many stresses related to uncertainty. He relates this blend of accomplishment with anxiety to a shared experience among high achievers, describing it as a cultivated anxiety that drives continual effort despite self-doubt. Despite being a best-selling author, Duhigg shares his persistent self-criticism about his own writing and the desire to improve. He focuses on creating work that amuses and captivates himself, believing that if he enjoys it, others will too. His journalistic work involves extensive outreach, such as contacting nearly 1,000 sources for his Apple series to uncover new insights. This willingness to spend time without guaranteed payoff reflects the messy, persistent work behind creating compelling stories and ideas. Throughout the episode, Duhigg stresses that humans are fundamentally pro-social beings whose brains evolved to seek connection. Building trust through authentic communication and connection is essential not just for personal relationships, but also for success in business and society. Whether asking thoughtful questions, matching conversational tones, or demonstrating active listening, these habits form the foundation for meaningful interactions that foster collaboration, understanding, and shared progress.